Rainy day here in Gwinnett County. Yes, it is. It's raining, 61 degrees. It's going to be rainy and cold pretty much all day. So what will I be doing? In the house working all day. Hope you're having a wonderful morning. Today is hump day, y'all. It's Wednesday. You have made it to the middle. You have made it to the middle. It is hump day Wednesday. I know some of you going, thank God. It's almost time for the weekend. I know your time is coming. It's coming, but it's not today. Today is Wednesday. Today is also Wise Women Invest Day. Yes. Today is Wise Women Invest Day. I'm super excited about that. This is a new segment to the show. You know, on the first Tuesday of every month, we do Talk Tech Tuesday. And then every other Tuesday, I do Talk Business Tuesday. And now on the second Wednesday of each month, we're going to be doing Wise Women Invest. And I'm kind of thinking that's going to kind of spin off to his own show. But right now, we're going to do Wise Women Invest. I'm excited about that. My co-host today is going to be Carolyn Shumate. She's going to be here. We're going to be talking about stocks and investments and things like that. And my goal is to bring other women on who are investing in cryptocurrency, because that's hot right now, real estate, businesses, and there are some phenomenal women out there who are just making things happen in all of those spaces. So in the stock market space, in the insurance space, in the real estate space, and cryptocurrency. And I'm going to try to find somebody to come on here and talk about NFTs. I know, don't ask me what that is right now because it's very difficult to explain, but I'm working on some things. And once I figure it out and find the right person to bring on there, I'll let you know. But I'm excited about that because Carolyn's going to come on and we're going to start from the beginning. Like, what is stock investing? What is mutual funds? Why you need to have these things in your portfolio? How can it help shield you from situations like we faced over the last year where people just didn't have a savings? They didn't have investments saved up. And so, you know, they were in a financial bind because of that, because of the pandemic and everything that went on. There were some people who had financial plans at their jobs. And because of the pandemic, those financial restrictions were lifted so they could take the money out of their retirement plans. Now, here's the thing. Chances are they may not have a retirement plan if they took all the money out of the plan. So, but those are the options that were available. But what if you didn't have a retirement plan? What if you didn't have any money to take out? What did you do? You know, you had to wait for the government. You know, did you use up all your savings? What did you do? And so we're going to talk about how to shield yourself from situations like this in the future. And that's how that's what Wise Women Wednesday is all about, helping you learn how to make your money grow. Work hard for you because you work hard for your money and we want your money to work hard for you. So I'm excited about that segment as well. And so I don't want to keep talking because Carolyn's going to come on at 10:30. So I need to get through your horoscopes, get through some local news, and then we're going to come on. We're going to talk about investing. So here goes. Today is National Nutty Fudge Day. National Nutty Fudge Day. It's also National Receptionist Day, and it's also National School Nurse Day, and it's also National Fibromyalgia Awareness Day. So this is a big day. So who decided, you know, I keep saying this and I haven't done it yet, but I have to figure out how to put a calendar, put a holiday on the calendar. I got to figure out maybe I have Wise Women Invest as a calendar. Okay, so Wednesday has a lot of things already, so maybe I'll put it on a different day. And make it every year it's going to be this certain day. But anyway, let's get on with our horoscopes brought to you by Noted Astrologer Micah Thassa. But today, May the 12th. Yep, it's May the 12th. We're almost in the middle of this month. Listen, time doesn't wait for anybody. It just keeps moving. You got to keep moving with it. All right, we're going to kick it off like we always do, and that is with Aries. You can come up with ways of earning extra cash. Don't be afraid to make additions to your house. You need to clear up some important personal documents before the end of the year. Handle your business, Aries. Clear it up. So because listen, we're at month 5. We're towards the middle of month 5. Before you know it, it'll be December. So take some time this weekend, next weekend, clear up the important papers, put them into place, file them away so you'll know where they are before the end of the year. Now, I don't know what's going to happen by the end of the year. None of us do. However, the stars are saying you need to make sure your house is in order. Taurus, don't let your mate talk you into going somewhere you'd rather not go. Don't blow situations out of proportion. This will be a very hectic day if you've made a promise to too many people. You have overextended yourself, Taurus. Now you've made all these promises. It's raining outside. Now you got to figure out what to do with yourself. All I'm saying is you may want to say, listen, I can't do it. I know what I said. Please forgive me. I apologize. I can't do it. That way you don't have to blow things out of proportion. You don't have to be hectic and stressed out. You don't have to do any of those things. So make sure, just say, no, I can't do it. I overextended myself. Sometimes people understand. And there's somebody in that circle that you promised something to that will truly understand. It may not be a child, though, because children don't understand that. You can't break a promise to a kid. A promise to a kid, you might as well just You can't break a promise to a kid. Gemini, your energy will be high, baby, high. Leave your checkbook and credit cards at home. You don't want to give anyone any fuel for the fire. Yeah, leave your credit cards and checkbook at home because your energy is high. You feel like you want to shop and buy some stuff. Don't do it. I know. And today I don't feel like buying anything because it's raining. Let me tell y'all something. I had my shoulder was hurting. I don't know what that was, but my shoulder was hurting. And I was like, oh, God, I got to get up. I got to do the show. But my shoulder was killing me. Took a pain pill. I don't know, maybe because it's raining outside. You know, they say that kind of stuff. It rains outside. Cancer, you may not accomplish all that you want to at home today. This is a wonderful day to look into courses or hobbies that interest you. Things are looking up. Cancer, things are looking up. I know it's been kind of shaky. It's been a little rough, but things are looking up for you today. Here's the thing. Keep learning. The more you learn, the more you earn. Listen, I don't care what anybody say. The more you learn, the more you earn. If you can learn something new, you can earn more money. If you can learn something new, you can earn more money. What I always tell people is try to learn something in the space you want to be in, not just learn in general. Like right now, you know, I'm doing Wise Women Invest. I'm already a licensed insurance agent. I need to get my securities license. So Carolyn and I can have really good conversations because I know exactly what she's talking about. That's something on my agenda. I've been having my license now probably 3 years. And I've written for people who needed life insurance and things like that. And trust me, there are a lot of people who needed life insurance last year. And I'm sure if you paid any attention, you might want to make sure your family is covered too. Leo, you may want to take a look at the personal papers of elders in your family. Be sure to take time for old friends or relatives you don't get to see that often. You may find that depression is causing you to feel lonely and insecure. Join a group, Leo. If you're feeling depressed right now, find some friends. Be sure to take some time out. Listen, find an old person that you haven't seen in a while. Go say hi to them. I got a call yesterday. It was heartbreaking, y'all. It was a heartbreaking call. It was heartbreaking. I got to tell you this real quick. So I had a friend, a good friend. His name was Darren. And he was such a nice person. And notice I'm saying was. His mom called me yesterday. And when I got the message, my heart instantly hit the floor. I was like, oh, Lord, why is she calling me? You know, why is she calling me? And she called me, but when I answered the phone, she just sounded so bubbly, and I was like, "Hey," and she's like, "Hey, how you doing?" She sounded really bubbly, and then I said, "Man, I gotta tell you, when I saw your number, your name, my heart fell on the floor." And she said, "Darren passed away." I was like, "Oh no, don't tell me that! Don't tell me that!" So my heart is once again broken. Both she and him had COVID. They both went into the hospital on a ventilator. He was my age. They both went into the hospital on a ventilator. She stayed on there for, I think she said 3 weeks. When she woke up, he was gone. He didn't make it. And I remember talking to him, and he was like, man, and he wasn't a big guy. He wasn't big at all. He was short, and he was he was muscular, but he wasn't like heavy. And the last time I talked to him, he's like, yeah, man, they said they see something wrong with my heart. I got to get that under control. And I said, okay, well, you get it under control. He didn't make it, y'all. And so my heart was broken. And so I said that to say, you know, reach out to the people. And I when I tell you my heart was broken because he was so nice. And he was a twin. He had a twin brother. But he was just so nice, and he was so easygoing, and just my heart was broken yesterday, and it's still broken because, you know, when you meet nice people and they become a part of your life, you want them to be there forever. And although I know we're not going to be here forever, every time I hear somebody passing away from COVID, it's so painful because I just feel like that was something that could have been prevented. But, you know, it's God's will, how he does things. It's his will. And so I had to make peace with that when my mom passed away. It was God's will. And for Darren, it was God's will. But it doesn't hurt any less because of that. I'm just saying it doesn't hurt any less. So Leo, listen, go out. If you're feeling depressed, go out and hug somebody if you can. Visit your family and friends because Lord knows, you just don't know when you're going to get that call. And man, when I tell you, I was like, that broke my heart because he and his mom, his daughter, you know, we spent time together. They came to my parties. I went to their stuff. Oh my God. It was just painful to hear that. And because she was so bubbly when I heard her voice, I'm thinking, okay, everything is good. And I sat there, ooh, when I got my heart just fell. I was like, and she's like, yeah, he passed. And I was like, oh no, don't tell me that. So, you know, she said she had COVID. He had COVID. Both was on ventilators. She was fortunate enough to come off, but she said when she came off, she couldn't walk. There was a lot of things that she just could not do. And Thank God she's still here with his daughter. And, my prayers go out to them, man. That was painful. Virgo, you could experience delays in shipments or mail and should be careful while traveling. Insurance payouts, tax rebates, or just plain luck. Yes, good luck to you, baby. Good luck, Virgo. I know we all need a little bit. Your lover may be annoyed if you've been flirtatious or not attentive to their needs. Who you been flirting with, Virgo? Listen, Virgo, don't be flirting with people. You're gonna make your lover upset. You don't want to do that. Don't make them upset. Don't do it. All right, I'm going to a song. I'll be right back after the song to give you. I'm going to a song. I'll be right back after the song to give you more of the horoscopes brought to you by noted astrologer Michael Thyssen. Stay tuned.
So casually keep diving into concrete. So bittersweet, Keep losing sleep while driving in the backseat. What's left of me? Drowning in feels like an ocean. Negativity is getting closer. Powder keeps the heat when it gets colder. Sometimes everything just gets hard. Sometimes everything just gets harder. Feeling like I'm missing some parts. These just keep on getting much darker. Even when I'm down in the low, I remember what you were saying. Sometimes all you need is a spark. Maybe just a better kind of bitter. Lose gravity, I'm swimming in the quicksand. Up to my knees. Keep losing sleep, I'm manic dream at midnight. So hard to please. Drowning in pieces like an ocean. Negativity is getting closer. Powder keeps the heat when it gets colder. Sometimes everything just gets hard. Sometimes everything just gets harder. Feeling like I'm missing some parts. They just keep on getting much darker. Even when I'm down in the low, I remember what you were saying. Sometimes all you need is a spark. Maybe just a better kind of bitter. How I'd rather do that instead. I keep screaming out loud from the top of my lungs, baby, ooh. Think about the stuff we play. How I'd rather do that instead. I keep screaming out loud from the top of my lungs, baby, ooh. Think about the stuff we play. How I'd rather do that instead. I keep screaming out loud from the top of my lungs, baby, ooh. Think about the stuff we play. How I'd rather do that instead. I keep screaming out loud from the top of my lungs, baby.
Welcome back. It's your girl, Audrey Bell Kearney, giving you the daily horoscopes brought to you by noted astrologer Michael Thyssen. We'll pick it up with Libra. Get involved in jobs that require creativity. Yeah, you can win points with both peers and superiors. Travel should be on your mind. You are ready to take action and take over. All right, take action and take over. I like that. I'm going to have to write, let me write that down. Take action. Take action. I like that. And take over. Yes, I like that. Sometimes I get these inspiration for words, so I like those. Scorpio, don't let the moves of those you live with get you down. Travel will be in your best interest. You can discuss your intentions and ideas with colleagues and friends. Or friends. Yeah, discuss them. Listen, you can discuss them today. It's a little safe. But pick the ones that you know you trust, right? Don't just tell anybody. Don't just tell any colleague. You never know which one is trying to stick you in the back. So pick the ones that you know you can trust. Sagittarius, your determination to make a little, your determination make you a little overbearing when dealing with others. Plan a nice evening for two. Try to be honest when dealing with your mate. Listen, plan that dinner for two, especially if it's raining tonight. Make a nice dinner and be honest. Listen, come from the heart, right? Don't lie, because lies will come back to get you. They certainly will. Trust me when I tell you that. They will. They will bite you in the booty. Capricorn, you will find it easy to meet new people. Your emotions have been pulled out of shape and you need a little to do a little backtracking. Remember that no one can walk through your door if someone is standing in the doorway. Capricorn, you looking for love? Somebody's blocking the doorway. Nobody can walk through the door if you got somebody standing in the doorway. Get them out. Get rid of them. You want that person to come in. Same thing with your, listen, if your hands are closed like this, nothing gets in, nothing gets out. You got to open them just a little bit. Just a little bit, right? Don't do them like this. Nothing gets in, nothing gets out. Open them just a little bit. Same thing with your heart. Same thing with the doorway. Just got to open it a little bit. But if somebody's standing in the doorway, get rid of that person. Aquarius, your personal life is going through a state of confusion. Your knowledge and good sense will help you more than you think. You need to do something that will make you feel better about yourself. Go to a spa, get you a massage, do anything that's going to make you feel good about who you are. All right, Aquarius, take some time just for you. Do some me time. Me. I went to Arizona this past weekend. It was amazing. It was beautiful. If you missed what I had to say about it, listen to yesterday's episode or Monday's episode on the podcast. You can watch the video from yesterday, but you can listen to the podcast from Monday. It was amazing. That's all I can say. And I'm not going to talk about it because I've been talking about it for 2 days straight. But that was some me time for me and my daughter. It was bonding time for the two of us because we were in the desert, just the two of us. And it was also time for us to reflect. We're so much alike in a lot of ways. It's so funny. And the older she gets, the more she's like me. Yeah, she has a lot of her dad ways, but the older she gets, the more I find that we're alike in a lot of ways. But we're both water signs. She's a Cancer, I'm a Pisces, so that makes sense. Last but not least, my fellow fish Pisces, try to find another time to present work ideas today. Be aware that minor accidents or injury may prevail if you are preoccupied. You will find your personal partner taxing today. Ugh. Listen, fish, I don't know about you, but I don't need to be taxed today. It's raining. I barely want to be up today. I don't need to be preoccupied. I just need what I really want to do, y'all, for real, just keeping it real. I just want to go and binge out on TV. But I found that TV is a 432 megahertz and it's not good for us. So I'm going to stay on my 528 megahertz. Yeah, go to YouTube and Google it. That's all I'm going to say. It's a lot. Go to YouTube and Google it. That's all I can tell you. I mean, it's a long, I can't explain it. Just go Google 528 megahertz. That's for healing. And then it's 741. I don't know what that one's for, but my guide told me that one. And then 896. Right now, I have a left 432, which is television. Yeah, I know. I'm at 528 right now, trying to get to 741 and 896 and on up. But don't you go to YouTube and just type it in. You'll find out more. I can't explain it. I'm just learning this stuff myself. All right, that's all the horoscopes I got for today. I'll be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. to bring you more horoscopes. Don't be late. Don't you're gonna miss what the stars have in store for you. All right, let's get on to some news you can use. So listen. Yesterday, while I was doing the show, I got a text from one of my friends, and she was saying something about the gas. So I kind of didn't pay any attention because I was trying to do the show. Then when I got finished doing the show, I got a text from my daughter saying, listen, something happened to the gas line. They're running out of gas. I'm like, what? Apparently, our gas lines got hacked yesterday. So gas stations in the southeastern United States faced significant outages yesterday and today. The Colonial Pipeline shut down stretches across the 6-day, sparking panic and buying is exacerbating. Right now, people are like, oh my God, I'm not going to be able to get gas. And it was crazy. So my daughter went to 3 gas stations. She was finally able to get gas. And it was crazy because she only uses premium because she has a Mercedes. And so she's like, I got to use premium, but she didn't have any gas. So she had to use regular because that's all they had. And my husband went to the gas station. He said they were out. So I was like, well, let me go. I forgot I had already filled my tank up. And I was like, let me go out and get me some gas. But when I got in the car, my tank was like 3/4 full. I was like, well, I'm good. But even when I got to the gas station, it was a big sign that said, sorry, no gas. It was crazy. It was crazy. And so right now, right now at 7 o'clock this morning, 24.8% of all gas stations in North Carolina, 15% 15.4% of all gas stations in Georgia and 15% in Virginia are without gas. Yep, according to Gas Buddy, and this is a story in Gwinnett Daily Post. They're out of gas. Outages were also reported in South Carolina, where it was 13.4%, Florida 4.2%, Maryland 3.5%, and Tennessee 2.8%. So the South is running out of gas. That is nuts, y'all. But let me just say this, and I'm not gonna get political because I said I wouldn't, but I gotta say this. While they're so busy trying to suppress votes, and I know, I said I wasn't gonna do this, but I gotta say this. While they're so busy trying to suppress votes, this is what's happening. The enemies, and I said this before, I said this last year. I said, if we don't stand together, we're going to fall together. And here's why. There are people out there that do not like the United States. They don't. There are countries out there, country leaders that hate us. They hate everything we stand for. And so while we're so busy over here trying to suppress votes and stay in power, they have cut the gas. Now, what are you going to do? And I'm not going to get on a rant, but I just had to say that. While they're so busy doing things that to take rights of the people where we live, the enemy is saying, yeah, they're preoccupied. Let's get them. And that's going to keep happening until we decide to come together again as the United freaking States of America. Until we decide to make that choice to become the United States of America again, we're going to be faced with enemies. It's like, as I was saying, it's not just the enemy without, it's the enemy within. It's the enemies within this country that's letting the enemies outside the country destroy us. They're taking our gas line. What's next? What's next? They're going to shut down the Northeast. They already crippled the South. It's bad enough we got a pandemic that has crippled us all. Now we got these hackers over wherever they are. Now they shutting down the gas line. And while we're so busy over here in the White House trying to figure out who's running in 2024, we don't even know if we're going to have a freaking 2024. Let's get it together now. Let's suppress the votes across the world. While they over here doing this, the enemies, the real enemies are over there taking over. They're going to take over our country. We're all going to be slaves to them. I'm not putting it out in the universe. I'm just saying, stop. We need to become the United States of America again, not the United States divided and let everybody come in and rip us off and shut us down and destroy us. Why? Anyway, I said I wasn't, but I can't help myself. Lawrenceville leaders are considering partnerships between the police, Viewpoint Health for help during mental health crisis. Yeah, there's a lot of mental health stuff going on right now. It's been going on a lot, but I think a lot more attention is being put on it because of all the things that are happening. And then, with the whole pandemic, that messed up a lot of people, like even myself. I used to then suffer from any anxiety and things like that. Now when the telephone rings, I'm like anxious, and that used to then be me. If the doorbell rings, I'm anxious. Like, who is that? And so, you don't want to live like that. But that was because of a pandemic that destroyed a lot of people's lives and crippled a lot of people and really put them on edge. So, this week, the Lawrenceville officials are set to discuss a proposed agreement between the Lawrenceville Police Department and Viewpoint Health to provide behavioral health care services during mental health crisis. The memorandum of understanding stipulates that full-time licensed behavioral health clinicians from Viewpoint Health will be assigned to the police department and accompany officers as they respond to 911 calls about mental health issues. I think that's a big plus because sometimes you just never know when people call. And here's the thing. Sometimes people have to call the police because the person in their house and their family, they're going through a crisis. But when the police show up, a lot of times they may not know what's going on and they feel it as being a hostile situation and then they shoot and then the person dies. And that has happened several times. So I applaud the police department for saying, you know what, we need to get a better handle on this. We need to make sure that our citizens are safe, especially the ones who are going through mental health crisis, and make sure that they keep their lives. And I know the family members of those people saying, you know what, we need to call the police. But it's like, it's almost like you screwed if you do and you screwed if you don't, because if the person is out of control and you can't control them, they can harm you or themselves. If you call the police and the person is out of control, the police can harm them. So it's kind of like a catch-22. So I'm grateful that the police and Viewpoint is saying, you know what, let's get together. Let's make sure that everybody is safe. And this way we don't have to have deaths and situations that we don't want. All right. So Sprouts is saying, you know what, we're hiring. So there's a new Sprout grocery store at the Exchange at Gwinnett, about Beaufort Mall of Georgia in Beaufort, and they're hiring 100 employees. 100. I talked about this yesterday. They were like, they can't find enough employees because unemployment is better than some of the paychecks. Well, Buford is hiring too, so they're looking for 100. The Sprouts is going to be located at the Exchange in Buford by the Mall of Georgia. They're looking for 100 employees. So if you know you need a job, let me tell you, because unemployment is not going to last forever. And as I said yesterday, they're trying to like cut it. So you need to make sure you go on up there and get you one of these jobs before there are none and you have been cut off of unemployment and can't get back on. Don't put yourself in that kind of bind. Don't put yourself in that kind of situation. Handle it. Yeah, the grocery chain now announced it's now hiring full-time and part-time workers for the store, which will open August the 4th. It's going to be located at 2925 Buford Drive. A virtual hiring event for management positions is scheduled for June the 9th, and a virtual hiring event for team member position is scheduled for June 23rd through the 24th. So, if you're looking for a job, go to Sprouts website. I'm sure they have some information there. Go to sprouts.com/careers and look and put your information in and see what you got to do. I can almost be sure that you're going to need proper ID. Probably going to have to pass a background check. You're going to probably have to pass a drug test, and make sure your resume is tight. Make sure your resume is tight and there are no holes in your resume and things like that, because you want to make sure that when you go in there, they say, you know what, this is a person we want on our team. This is a person that we feel will be helpful to our team. So listen, Lawrenceville have recycling. So you put your stuff out on Thursdays or Wednesdays, whenever your garbage get picked up, and it's recycled automatically. Well, now they're saying they may not have recycling anymore. Yep. They're saying that because the companies that take the recycled material, they don't need as much. Now the company that actually do the pick up the recycling for them is saying, we're going to have to charge you. So they went from paying nothing. It's called a tipping charge, from paying nothing to the recycling company to now paying $56 a ton. I'm sure that's a lot of recycling. And so they're saying that's going to go over their budget. And so now they're trying to figure out what are they going to do about recycling. So one of the things was, maybe they'll have a location where people can drop off their own recycling. Well, that sucks. And this is going to take place next year. So don't, this is next year, starting next year, but you need to be prepared for that. So one of the options is to take your recycling somewhere else yourself, to leave your house, put it in your car, take it to the recycling station. The other idea, and I'm almost positive this is the one they're going to go with because it makes sense, is to have a recycling subscription, just like your trash subscription, where they come and they you pay a monthly fee, they pick up your recycling, and you pay that, not the city. Lawrenceville is not going to pay that recycling subscription. You're going to pay your own, or they're going to find a place for you to actually put your recycling. So I'm believing, not wanting, but believing that they're going to, they're going to choose a subscription model, because everything is like about subscriptions right now. Like everybody's talking about subscription this, subscription that. And I can see a recycling company having a subscription model, and other places they have one. So since Lawrenceville is saying next year we're not picking up the tab for you with Lawrenceville citizens, you're going to have to pick it up yourself, or we may find a location for you, but you're going to have to drop it off yourself. I'm almost sure they're going to lean towards a subscription. And people are not going to be happy about that. Neither am I. I live in the city of Lawrenceville. All right, I'm going to a song. I'll be back after this song to bring you more of, we're going to start Wise Women Invest Wednesday, so just stay tuned.
What you hiding from me? What you holding back? I think I saw you with another. I think I saw your hands slipping down. I looked up face smiling back at you. Here's why you always wanna be around her, be around her. Now I've come to terms over you, and although it hurts, there's nothing I wouldn't do. But I am outplayed, but I don't mind, no, that I got outplayed, 'cause now I need an upgrade. But you would see me crying, would you? No, don't have to verify my worth. I think I saw you with another. I think I saw you. good terms over you. And although it hurts, there's nothing I wouldn't do. But I am outplayed, but I don't mind, no. That I got outplayed, 'cause I'ma need an upgrade. But I am outplayed, but I don't mind, no. That I got outplayed, 'cause I'ma need an upgrade. Yeah. Outplayed, but I don't mind, no. Cause I'ma need an upgrade. Outplayed, don't mind, no. Outplayed, 'cause I'ma need an upgrade.
Welcome back. It's your girl, Audrey Bell Kearney, giving you the daily rundown of what's going on in and around Gwinnett County and beyond. So, listen, there's some events coming up this week. I want to tell you before Carolyn gets on. She's having some difficulties because she's on a Macintosh computer, and we're trying to figure out how to get her on. Anyway, while we wait for Carolyn to get on to talk about investing, this Friday, the District Attorney, Miss Patsy Austin Gatson, is having a town hall for anybody who wants to come out and talk to her about, what's going on in Gwinnett County. She has some initiatives that she wants to share with you. And she also wants to make sure that she answers your questions about things that you need, things that you want to see here in Gwinnett County on the law enforcement side, as well as questions and your opinions about things. So she's going to be there on Saturday at 70 Langley Drive in Lawrenceville at 6 p.m. Friday, answering your questions, giving you the opportunity to share your views and for her to share the initiatives that she has going on right now. So be sure to check that out. On Wednesday, May 26th, we'll be doing our podcast posse meetup. Yes, we got the posse, baby. So if you're thinking about starting a podcast, this is a great way for you to get some inside feedback on what to do. Like once a month, we do the podcast posse meetup right here in Lawrenceville as well. And we talk about podcasts, everything podcast, and how to launch, why to launch, where to launch, things like that. And a lot of times when people come out, they either have a podcast or thinking about starting a podcast. And so we invite you to come out. That's a free event. You're welcome to bring your own snacks. We're going to have refreshments there as well. You can go to goodmorninggwinnett.com. Well, go to GwinnettBusinessDigest.com. You'll see all of the events there. Yes, that's another site. I'm into media, so that's my other media site. I haven't talked about that site. So Gwinnett Business Digest is another site that I run, and it's where I share information, syndicating the shows. So I put my shows over there too. I also write articles for there as well as Good Morning Gwinnett. So I like media. So my company is a media company, media and marketing company. So go to GwinnettBusinessDigest.com. You'll see all of the events listed there, for my event, for Patsy's events, for the Gwinnett Greater East Side Chamber events, and any other events that's coming up. And I think you can go add events there as well. So if you got one coming up, be sure to check that out and put it there. So that's happening soon. So I'm not sure if Carolyn, I was so hoping that she got on with us today, because investing is something that I've been doing a lot of lately. And I got to tell you, it's been in cryptocurrency, and we're not going to go into cryptocurrency because it's a monster by itself. But what I would like to do is just kind of give you a kind of overview of where we're going. So I've been an insurance agent. I got my insurance license the first time in 1999. So I've been in the insurance business for a long time. I let them lapse and I renewed them in 2018. So now I've had them for 3 years. And one of the things that we do as professionals is financial advice. And you don't hear me talk about this a lot because I love podcasting more. However, I'm really learning to love investment a lot more, because I realized because of investments and things that we've done, we were able to get through the pandemic, not unscathed because we lost people, but definitely not in financial distress. And so I wanted to make sure, and this was something I thought about doing years ago, but I wanted to make sure that I was in a position to share what I was doing. So I talk about what I'm doing right now, and I'm not giving you financial advice. I'm just talking about what I do, what I'm doing. We're going to start off with insurance and why that's important. So A lot of people, when they think about like, let me just tell you how I got into financial services. I got into financial services because I went to a meeting and they showed me the rule of 72. Now, and when I was in school, my strong subjects were math and science. That's probably why I'm a geek right now. So I got into this financial company because they showed me the rule of 72. And what the rule of 72 does, it shows you how your money compounds over time. And I found that fascinating. And because of that, I got into the financial services industry. Now, the problem that I had with this industry was that I wasn't allowed to do what I wanted to do, which was investing. And so I had to do all this other stuff first. I had to sell insurance. And, I was like, I don't want to sell insurance. And my reason for not wanting to sell insurance at that time was because I used to see the insurance man come to my mom's house and everybody would run from him. Now, not my mom, but I would see other people do it because my mom had insurance for everything. But I would see other people like, oh my God, it's the insurance man. And they would hide. I'm like, so that was like a thought in my head. Like when I tell people I sell insurance, they're going to run from me. So I wasn't interested in selling insurance, but the way the company was structured, that was the first thing I had to do first. I had to master the insurance before I could move on to get my license in my securities license. So because I didn't want to do that, I stopped doing the insurance. I sold insurance to people that need it. As a matter of fact, that was 99. One of my friends still had the same policy she bought in 1999 because she told me. It's like, I still got the same policy. I was like, wow. But what happened was, what I did was I learned that insurance wasn't just to bury people. Insurance was a financial replacement tool. And so if a lot of people thought about it that way, they would be more apt to getting insurance. But here's what I think happened. A lot of people don't think about it that way, because if you came from a family like mine, like my grandmother, when they all passed away, nobody had to raise GoFundMe's. Not for my grandmother. You talking about my grandmother was born in 1920. So when she passed away, we didn't have to have a fish fry. My great grandmother lived till she was 77 years old. I got a chance to meet both of them, and I still see them. I can vividly see them right now in my head. But we didn't have to take up funds to put them away nicely. We didn't have to do that. And I remember my grandmother passed. There was so many people at the funeral till the line was like 5 blocks long. It was crazy. But anyway, we didn't have to put them away. We didn't have to do fish fries and GoFundMe's and t-shirt drives. We didn't have to do any of those things to lay them to rest. And so my mom took that same initiative. So when she got older, my mom had insurance for everything. When I'm telling you, when she had breast cancer, she had insurance that paid all of her bills, including her car note, when she was out with breast cancer recovering. So she had insurance for everything. So she instilled in my brother and I that you have to have insurance for everything. She had insurance policies on everybody. Like all of her brothers who were not in a financial situation to take care of themselves and make sure they had life insurance, she had a policy for everybody. And we never had to raise money and have fish fries and things like that. There was one instance that we did, and it was crazy because when we went to the house, this person had so many policies that had lapsed. It was unbelievable. I'm talking about, I found policies under chair cushions that just had lapsed. And for me, I don't think they took that stuff seriously. They couldn't have, because they lapsed. So, and I really don't know. I don't know, was it an affordability issue? I don't know what it was. But what I'm saying is that it was that one time. But here's the thing: we still didn't have to have a fish fry. We still didn't have to have a GoFundMe. It's like, hey, we didn't see the policies. Well, this is what we're gonna do, and that's what we did as a family. And so, but insurance is very important. So a lot of times people think of insurance as a way to lay that person to rest. You have to think of it a little bit different. You have to think of it as an income replacement tool. And the reason I say that is because if you're a parent or a husband or a wife and one of you pass away, someone has to pick up the slack from where the other one left off. And so when you have insurance in place, that becomes an income replacement. Now, the company that I'm with, they had their own philosophy, which it's 2 philosophies about insurance. One is that, you buy wholesale and you keep wholesale for your whole life. It never turns out until like 100. I like that as well. The company that I work for said, listen, you buy high when you're young and you invest the difference. Now, this is my company. I like that too. Here's a problem that I found on this side with my company. The problem that I found on my side was that people do not invest because they don't know how to invest. So they buy low. It turns out they haven't invested anything, and now they have no insurance. Now they have to buy a whole life, which is not a lot higher because they're a lot older. So let me just say it again. There's companies out there that have both term life and whole life policies. I just want to give you a brief about insurance first. And we're going to do investing, but right now you need to understand insurance because it starts there. There are companies that sell whole life insurance, and there are companies that sell term life. There are some companies that sell only term life. I like both, and I like both for different reasons. Whole life, you have the insurance for your whole life, which in insurance terms is up to 100 years old. It's a little bit more expensive than a term life, but if you get a whole life when you're younger, it's not as expensive. Now, term life is a lot less expensive, but it terms out. What does that mean? You may get a term 10, you may get a term 25, you may even get a term 35, but at some point it's going to term out. The company that I'm with, it says, hey, buy low, buy term low, and then invest the rest. The problem that comes about is that people do not invest the rest. That's the problem that they have. And so because they have that problem, the term turns out and then they don't have any insurance and they don't have any investments. So you got to understand insurance first. And so when I sell insurance to people, I try to get them to understand, like, this is for you right now. This is for you to, make sure that you have income replacement for your family if something happens right now. Don't just think of this as a way to bury somebody. Think of it as a way, if something happens to me right now, what will happen to my spouse? What will happen to my children? That's what income replacement is. And that's what insurance should be looked at, not just burial. Now, here's the thing. There are burial insurances out there just for burial. And those policies are pretty much around $10,000. But if you're trying to replace income for your family, $10,000 ain't going to cut it. I'm going to just say that right now, unless you got a lot stacked away. And let me tell you something. My mom used to say this all the time. Dead money don't last long. I know that sounds harsh, but dead money don't last long. And so you'll find yourself running through that money. When my father passed, he left my brothers now a lot of money. And before we know it, it was all gone. My brother said to me, he said, can't believe we spent all that money. Well, we put basements. We finished our basement in our houses. It doesn't last long because you think it's free money, and it is, but it doesn't last long. So you want to be careful about this. I just wanted to give you an overview about insurance so you get the basic. Now Carolyn is here, so I'm excited to bring her on. I know she was having some problems, but let me bring her in. Come on in, Carolyn, girl. Yes.
Hello. Hi, how are you?
I am great. How about yourself?
I am great now. Technical issues for a non-techie person.
Oh God, I'm sorry. I mean, I'm a little bit of a tech head, so I like this stuff. But so Carolyn Shumate is a wonderful woman that I met about 5 years ago through my good friend Chris Cook, who passed away a couple of years ago before this whole pandemic thing happened. And she is a financial advisor, and she's helping a lot of people do some great things. She's helping them become financially secure, financially stable. She's helping them launch businesses. She's doing a lot. And let me tell y'all something. So I'm in her group meet, right? And her group would be popping, y'all. It's like sold another policy today, did another investment. That group me be popping. And I'm like, oh my God, I feel like such a slouch right now. Like the team is doing great things. And here I am like, oh Lord, I haven't did a policy in months. But thank you so much for being here with me today.
You are quite welcome. You're quite welcome. And I am so excited about being here, even though we had those little issues. One of the things that when I came on, I heard you talking about making sure you have income replacement. And I thought, oh my God, that is awesome. Because for a lot of people, they don't realize that, I'm going to get some insurance, but it's not just about the insurance of having money to bury you. It's about for the people you're leaving behind. Let me give you a story. There was a young man who came. I actually did a workshop at a church some years ago. And the wife was a teacher. Actually, both of them were educators. And she said, oh, we have insurance at the school, so no problem. What I didn't know at the time was that this school system, they only had $10,000 of insurance, and they had one child. So she said, and so I did the workshop, and she said, oh, okay. And I talked about income replacement and how you need to make sure that you have the right amount of coverage. So fast forward, she finally decided after that workshop that she would actually have me come and talk with her and her husband. I did. They got policies, $300,000 each. And so 5 years later, she's diagnosed with breast cancer, which makes her uninsurable. Mm-hmm. Had she not gotten that policy, she would have only had $10,000 to leave to her family, her husband and her daughter. We took her a check for we gave her husband a check for over $300,000, the face amount plus the interest. He was able to set up a college fund for his daughter. They were able to move into a home that wouldn't have the memories of her, so they were able to purchase a home. He has changed the lifestyle and the trajectory for that daughter because she made a decision to make sure she got herself protected. Story number 2. There was a young lady who was married, and she had a husband they had one daughter, and she got a policy. When they were together, they had a policy for $250,000. She came to one of my workshops, and we talked about making sure that you cover the debt, if possible. You cover the debt that may be left. You cover 5 to 10 times the income. You cover the mortgage for the home and the education for the children. And when we talk about income, 5 to 10 times. So she was like, well, I don't know if I need to keep it. We're getting a divorce. I said, well, here's the deal. You're divorcing your husband, but you're not divorcing your child. So you have an insurable interest. And when there's an insurable interest, the law allows you to have coverage on that person. She said, really? I said, yes. Would you not want your daughter's life to be awesome if one of her parents were gone? Because he was still supporting her, the daughter. She says, that makes a lot of sense. Well, maybe I need to increase his coverage. And I said, well, maybe you should. So I said, but you do need his permission to do that. And they had an amicable relationship. They just knew that they weren't supposed to be together. So she raises the policy to $1 million, Audrey. She gets $1 million coverage on him.
Wow.
2, he does what's called a paramed. He does his medical, does all of the things that are necessary for that kind of face amount. And 2 weeks later, before the policy was even printed, 2 weeks later, he got murdered. Yes. A robbery. Yes, an armed robbery, and he was murdered.
Wow.
We paid that family $1 million.
Wow.
$1 million. That young lady's life has never been the same.
Yeah.
Whenever I see them and I see her, she's been able to walk and live the lifestyle that she wants to live based on the fact that her mom made an unselfish decision to talk to her ex-husband about making sure that they have protection in place in case something happened to either one of them, that their daughter could live a lifestyle that they wanted her to live. Incredible stories. But it's like that when we as women, when we talk about wise women investing, we must invest in our families. We invest in ourselves, but we invest in our families to make sure that if we get taken out of the picture, that there's going to be ample coverage for our family. And that's one of the things you want to make sure, that you're not just replacing income, you're replacing a lifestyle. You're making sure that your children and your loved ones can continue in the lifestyle that you've gotten them accustomed to. And the way to do that is to have what we consider low cost term insurance, which allows you to have insurance for a specific period of time. And just think about this. We insure our car. We insure our house. We insure our cell phone.
Yep, sure do.
Why not insure the greatest asset that we have?
That's right. I got a letter just yesterday from Insurance saying, hey, we know you have insurance, but your cell phone is going up. I'm like, what? The phone is up. So you're absolutely right about we insure. But Carolyn, I think, and I'm so glad I'm sitting here now and I'm smiling because I could kick myself for not doing this sooner. And I'm thinking about those stories right there. Like I'm thinking about those stories because when I first got my license in 1999, I don't know if I told you, I think I told Chris, one of my reasons for not pursuing my career further was because I didn't want to sell life insurance because they was like, oh my God, the insurance man is coming. Right. And so they would hide. And so I was like, I don't want to sell insurance. I want to do investments and things like that. And my team was like, no, Audrey, you got to take these steps first. I know that has since changed, but as I listen to you tell this type of story, it makes me think about where I am in my business on that side. And I'm learning so much about just investing in general till I didn't even think about what you just said in term. Like I've heard people talk that way in whole life. And so I've heard them say, but they got a whole life policy and it was able to like replace income. What I also found out was that a lot of rich people dump a lot of money into annuities. And I know we're going to talk about this later, but people don't know that that is, oh my God, like when I learned about that, I was like, I just need to focus on just annuities because let's run through that real quick. What is an annuity and why do rich people put money in annuities? And I know it's an insurance policy, but kind of run through that for a second.
It's an insurance policy, but one of the things that annuities give you that's a little bit, it's with an insurance company. But one of the things that they give you that's different from a lot of investments is you can have some lifetime guarantee. And that's one of the reasons why people who are wealthy or people who know invest in that, because the money grows for a specific period of time and then it annuitizes, which means you can start taking the money out of it. It is money that grows tax-free, pretty much tax-free. You can defer it, and you can also will that or leave that to a beneficiary, which is the family. The greatest thing about it is the fact that you can have guaranteed income for life. It's one of the few investments out there that allow you to do that. And that's why people do that, because they can set aside a legacy for their family for the rest of their lives. They can have insurance during their life, so they can start taking money out of it when they get to retire, but then they can have that money be there for their children as well, or whoever their beneficiary is. So it's a way to have what we call generational transfers of wealth. Annuities allow you to do that. You know, there's the accumulation phase where you're letting the money grow and you can't touch it. And normally it has steep penalties if you take money out, because it literally is earmarked for you to let it grow for a specific period of time. And then you start the phase where you start taking money out of there. You know, we recommend that when you're looking at investing, and as wise women and we start investing, you want to have a great life insurance policy that'll give money there for your family. And you have an investment outside of that. And that investment can be an annuity where you have a guaranteed income, or you can invest in the market. Not guaranteed, but you can also get great rates of return. And I know we'll talk about that on another segment, but you want to be able to have a portfolio. Being a wise woman who's investing, you want a portfolio that has a policy in it, a term policy, an annuity, or an investment in the market. You could also have what we call fixed annuities, or we'll talk about these, or variable annuities. A fixed annuity allows you to have a specific interest amount. And here's the great thing. Most of the time when you hear people talking about interest, in the annuity, you're guaranteed to have that. A variable annuity is tied to the market, so you have a lot more volatility there because the market goes up and down. But we'll talk more about that at a later time. You mentioned earlier when people talk about whole life insurance.
Yes.
We recommend that a person have term insurance. Here's the thing, because what they don't tell you a lot is in the fine print. When you read the fine print of a policy, you learn so much about what's there. And whole life, it tells people that you're going to have savings in there. That you're going to have savings that are going to protect you. What you don't realize is that you cannot exercise both of those. And the savings in a whole life policy belongs to the insurance company. It does not belong to the insured. So when the person dies, all they get is the face amount. They don't get any of that savings. So we recommend that you have a term policy, and then you invest outside of that in an annuity, an IRA, a Roth IRA, or some other account that's going to give you a better rate of return.
Now, let me ask you this, because I know I've been in conversation where there were some whole life sellers, and then there's me. And so they would, just like you're saying, it's the fine print. They're saying to us, it's going to turn out. So for the person that said, well, I don't want to have to come back, and I'm turning 65, my policy is going to turn out at 67, and then I don't have any insurance. What do you say to that person if they have not done what we suggest do, which is buy low, buy term, and invest the rest? A lot of people don't do that. So what happens to that person that's 67 years old and now they need a policy and they can't get one, or it's $300 a month? What do we tell that person?
Well, here's the awesome thing about that is that once you have a policy, you're called guaranteed insurable. So as long as you're with the same company, you get notices way before it terms that says, here, your policy, this policy is terming. Here's what we can do for you. You don't have to, regardless of what the health condition is, that person has the ability to get another policy. The need may not be as great then. They may have needed 400,000 when they took it out, but now the children are grown, the house is paid off, they don't have as much debt. All of the things that we tell people to look at to determine what your face amount should be, all of those things should be different when you get 67 years old. You know, house should be paid off, children are grown, and debt should be almost gone if possible. So debt, income, mortgage, and education, those things should be lessened by the time you get 65. So the need may not be 400,000. You know, we could probably give you the same policy. You don't have to prove insurability. So regardless of what your health condition is, you're guaranteed to get a renewed policy. And in most cases, you can get a great amount and not pay as much money.
Wow. See, I didn't know exactly how that works. That's me not doing my homework. Listen, y'all know I'm honest on here. Like, listen, Carolyn is an expert. I'm gonna be a financial expert pretty soon because I'm feeling the vibe right now. I'm really feeling it right now. I'm feeling like, man, I need to go write another policy on my own self. That's what I'm feeling right now. And I'm probably gonna do that as soon as I get something to eat. And you know, Carolyn, I think for me, this is when I first heard about insurance and Rule 72, I was so intrigued because I felt like I could help people. And that's why I started, because I know my mom, when I tell you my mom had insurance for everything, she had insurance for everything. What I can tell you though, is, and this is something people need to look at too, because this is what we found out, my brother and I. My mom passed away in January. She was on her job. She had a pension. And she had both of our names down as beneficiaries on the pension, right? When we went to go investigate that, they was like, yeah, you're not getting anything from this because she did something. I forgot what it was. She did something that said there's no money left out of the pension. But there's there's this little tiny policy that the state gives you. You get that. But I'm like, really? So it's so much around finances that people just don't know. Even when you think you have my uncle's the same way. He hasn't passed, but he wanted me to look into his pension. And so when we called his pension company, I'm not gonna call them because I think they suck. Like, I really do. I think they're the worst. When we called them, they were like, we can send you this paper out, but you elected to take your full pension benefit amount, and what's left over, it goes back to the company. People don't even know that kind of stuff. I know. So with this show, it's my goal to make sure that you are very aware. You think you got something at your job, you have it then. But when you're gone, do your family get it? Nope. And that's what happened to us. Like my mom, you know, and my mom was on top of that stuff. And I said to the lady, my mom would never have elected to do that if she had known that's what that was going to happen. She's like, well, that's what she elected. And I was like, yeah, she didn't know that. That was like a bait and switch kind of thing. She didn't know that because she would not have said, yeah, I want all my money to go back to the company. She wouldn't have said, neither would my uncle. Like
nobody would. Exactly. And you make a great point there, Audrey. And that's what happens so much. We find that people either only have insurance or only have what's on the job. The family don't know about it. They have fine print that says you can't take it with you, or if this happened, this is going to happen. So it's always important as we as women and men as well to make sure that the family knows. So most people only have things on their job and the family doesn't know about it. Number two, they're paying too much. You know, sometimes if you're looking at a young person should be able to get 100, 200,000 of term insurance for less than $40.
Yep.
You know, or they have the wrong kind. And we truly believe that for most people between a certain age bracket, the term is the best plan. You follow? And again, they don't have anything outside of their job. They're paying too much, wrong company. You follow? So we want to make sure that people know what they have on their job. You cannot take it with you. Most of the time, when you leave a company, everything, all the benefits that you had are there. And whatever you can take away, you need to make sure that you read the fine print to see what the issues are with that fine print. Are you able to have this be allocated to your beneficiaries? You've got to know that. So we really want, that's why there's a great need for us, Audrey. And
Yeah.
look, you say when you become an expert, but you have been licensed by the state of Georgia, which makes you an expert to some extent, to where you can help people make sure that they're putting their financial house in order.
You know, Carolyn, my daughter, when I got my license again here in Georgia, the first thing I did was said to her, listen, you 27 years old. She was 26 at the time, said, you need to have your own insurance, and you need to make sure if something happens to you, if you have a child, the child is good. Well, we didn't know she was gonna have a child at that time. So now baby is 2 years old, but she had that policy in place and we just added a rider. And so that is, and she has a lot of insurance because she's young, and I knew that she needed that insurance. And my mom taught us like that. Like, you got to have insurance. My mother had insurance to pay her credit cards when she had cancer. She had insurance for just about everything, you know. And it was so crazy because I was like, you don't got to pay your card. No, she's like, no, I got a policy for that. And they paid all of her bills. So she had breast cancer twice. She survived them both times, thank God. But her insurance coverage for all these different things covered her. So I understand the importance of insurance, and I'm so glad that we're going to be able to educate not just women, but families about the importance of insurance. And it's not just to lay somebody to rest. It's really to make sure that if something should, God forbid, happen to you, you know, your family is okay. And like you said, like some people's families, the lifestyle completely changed, because somebody dropped me $1 million policy, I probably would just pass out on the floor like, oh my God, you know. But then you got some selfish people who say, you know what? I ain't leaving them nothing. They got to go get their own. That's a selfish person, y'all. That's a selfish person.
That's a selfish person.
That's a selfish person. And so, and don't be selfish, because you don't want your family back here struggling if they don't have to. And with life insurance, they don't have to. When learning how to invest and diversify, they don't have to. There are other groups of people, they know this stuff already. That's why their families don't suffer. I'm just saying. I'm just keeping it real. That's why they know to put, you know, $300,000 in an annuity that pays them and the people that they leave behind. I'm just saying, but that's because they're educated. So, you know, we want to do our jobs in educating you. Carolyn, I do have one question though about the annuities. So, because someone came to me, and I think I told you this. How much money can you put in an annuity, and can you put it in over a period of time, or do you have to put in a lump sum?
Most of you can do it systematically. But most of the annuities have a larger start amount, like it's about $40,000 that you can start, and you can do monthly deposits after that. I would tell you that the majority of the annuities that I do, they are lump sums. But people who have $300 to $400 a month that they can put away, then they can start with a lump sum and a smaller lump sum, and that's about $40,000, and then they can do a monthly draft after that. I have found that a lot of people who have insurance policies with us, when they do, someone does die and they have that lump sum of money, many of them take a portion of that, put some in an annuity, and put others in investments that they can put their hands on. Because you always want to have an emergency fund, a short-term fund where for things that may come up or purchases that you want to make. You don't want to ever put away money into an annuity or something that has withdrawal charges if you take it out. You want to take some of your money and keep it as liquid, still in some type of great return investment, so a little bit beyond the bank. So we want to make sure the bank is for your emergency. Bank or money market is for your emergency. Short term can be in a mutual fund, some bond fund, municipal funds. Long term should be annuities, investments, mutual funds, and that type as well. So you just want to make sure that you start with about $40,000, and then you can invest on a monthly basis after that.
Now, I just want to say this because I know I've read stuff about this as well. You can talk to some financial advisors and they say, "Oh my God, don't do an annuity. It's the worst thing ever. It's expensive." And so now I understand why, because you're saying you have to put in a certain amount of money, and then to put in more money is about $300 a month. Here's the thing, y'all. You may not have $300 a month, but you may have 40,000 sitting in a regular banking account, checking account that's getting you like 0.322% interest, where you can put it in an annuity and get a little bit more and still be protected where you don't lose. So this is all education, right? We're in the financial industry, and you're gonna hear people say no to this, yes to that. We're giving you information. It's gonna be up to you to make a wise choice. We're going to bring you that information. You have to take that information, look at your financial situation, and make a wise choice based on that. We're only here to educate you. And once we educate you, once you make a decision, then we can help you. But you got to be educated. You got to understand that stuff first before we can help. Because we don't want to put you in something and then somebody says, "Oh my God, why did you get in that? That's expensive." Don't listen to that person. 9 times out of 10, they're trying to convert you over to make the money. I'm about helping. Like my mom taught us about money. She was a single parent. She raised my brother and I by herself, and we had to make ends meet. And let me tell y'all something. We grew up in Newark, New Jersey. And when I tell you we never lacked for anything, like I can't remember a time. My brother said to me one time, we were poor. I said, "Boy, we wasn't poor." In my mind, we weren't poor because we had the sneakers, we had the clothes, we had the toys. We lived in the hood. But I didn't think we were poor. In his mind, we were poor because we didn't have a swimming pool. That was his thing to this day. To this day, right here. He's in a house right now with the swimming pool. That's his thing. I can't swim. I'm not poor. I don't need a swimming pool. But I said all that to say, when you know about money and you know how money works, then you'll know how to make money grow for you. People go up and they work really hard every day for a lot of money, right, Carolyn? And
yes.
They don't save anything. It's not working for them. Carolyn and I are going to change that for you. We're going to show you. And let me tell you, Carolyn's helping a lot of people. Carolyn helped a lot. I'm telling y'all, my group may be blowing up, and I'm like, "Oh my God, I'm such a slouch." But by that time, I'm exhausted from talking all day. But Carolyn and I are going to educate you so you can make wise financial choices, and so you can protect your family and your future. And Carolyn, let me ask you this real quick though. And I don't know if this is a product we have, but I saw this at another company. There's a product that this other company has that if someone becomes terminally ill, they're able to take part of that policy now to use it. Is that a product we offer?
And actually, we're one of the few companies that actually offer that. There's some. It's called a terminal illness clause, and it allows you to take up to, I believe it's 70% of the face amount of the policy, so you can improve your quality of life. And let me just tell you that there was a client who did that. She got diagnosed with I forget what type of cancer it was, but she took 70% of the face amount of her policy. She got like over $100,000, maybe $150,000, and she took that and went to Paris. And while she was there, she found some type of alternative treatment that she was able to pay for because she took that terminal illness clause. She took that cash money from the life insurance policy, and she was able to improve her quality of life. They told her that she was going to die. She actually lived, I want to say about 3 or 4 years after that, but she was able to extend her life because of that terminal illness clause. So yes, a person can take cash out of their policy and improve their quality of life. Isn't that awesome?
Carolyn, that is the most awesomest thing I've ever heard. And when I first heard that, I was in a meeting doing something totally different. And the man was in the meeting. I thought he was making it up. I was like, that's not true. Like, I've never heard of that before. He was saying there's a way for you to take money out of policy, while you're alive. And I'm like, so my first thing was, what's a whole life? You're going to take a loan against the policy. That was my first thinking. So it's not that. I'm like, it's not that. And so I didn't believe him. So I never called him back. But then I was at a insurance meeting, and they were talking about it. And I'm thinking, that is awesome. Like, because I knew people who suffered. I know people right now who are suffering, and they probably won't get a policy ever. But had they had that in place right now, they would have had a better quality of life. One of my friends, one of my best friends, her mom had breast cancer. They didn't catch it in time. And so she wanted to go see her family members, and they really couldn't afford it. So I called Make-A-Wish. I called Make-A-Wish, and I was like, listen, she wants to go see her family in North Carolina. We were in Jersey, but they can't afford it. Make-A-Wish sent the mother, my friend, her mother, and her 2 sons to North Carolina for one last visit. Wow. I thought that was amazing. But here's the thing, Carolyn. If you have a policy like that, no one has to call Make-A-Wish.
Exactly.
No one has to call that. I did. I was sitting at work, and I saw it in the paper, and I was like, I'm going to call them, because I know my mom's friend, who I love dearly, like my mom. I knew she wanted to go home and see her family, but she could not get in a car and drive. She could not get on the bus. She had to fly because she was so sick, and she couldn't go by herself. And so my friend and my 2 godsons and then her mom flew to North Carolina one last time because of Make-A-Wish. But just think, had we known about the terminal illness clause, that wouldn't have been a problem. They could have flew to Bali and came back. You know what I mean? So
exactly.
I think that's amazing. So I'm so excited that we're going to be doing this I feel like we need to go to, we're going to stay at once a month right now, but I almost feel like we're going to have to turn this into a separate podcast by itself. But for right now, the second Wednesday of every month, Carolyn and I will be here talking. We're also going to bring in other people too, because if I know anything and what I believe, I could be wrong, but I'm sure Carolyn's portfolio is very diversified with some other stuff. And so we're going to bring on some other experts too, talking about real estate investing as well, because I'm in all kinds of meetings all the time with all kinds. Like I looked at some land, Carolyn, about 2 weeks ago, up in Lake Oconee. And I've been trying to get my husband to say yes, but he's like, Audrey, it's far. It's a bunch of bushes on the land. I was like, listen, let's just get the land surveyed. We got to diversify like everybody else. So I'm going back and forth with him about the land. But the lake is only like a half a mile down. I'm like, listen, people can walk to the lake. They can bike to the lake and come back home. So, we're going to be, the goal is to educate you on all of these things so that you can have a well-rounded financial future for you and your family. And so any last words, Carolyn, before we say goodbye for today?
Yeah, just quickly, when you were talking, you talked about having that terminal illness clause, and you used the word now. One of the things that we're hoping from this podcast and all the other things that Audrey does is that, there's a book that I love to read. It's called the Bible. And there's a phrase in there that says that in all you're getting, get understanding. And then the great Maya Angelou said, when you know better, you do better. Right. And so we want to educate you so that as you know better, you will do the things that are better for yourself and for your family. And that's making sure that you're investing in yourself, in term and life insurance, and having an investment. And we'll talk more about those type of investments in future broadcasts.
Yes, we will. So listen, guys, go to Gwinnett, go to wisewomeninvestpodcast.com. There's a sign-up sheet. If you want to talk to Carolyn and myself about investing, about insurance policy, just go to wisewomeninvestpodcast.com. That's the page on the Good Morning Gwinnett site, because this is an episode on Good Morning Gwinnett. But you can sign up there, put your information there, your telephone number, your email address, and we'll call you. Secure your family right now. Don't wait. Listen, the pandemic, if the pandemic has taught us nothing, is that nothing is promised right now. Exactly. I told you a very sad story about my good friend. His mom called me yesterday and my heart dropped and so I'm paranoid all the time now. And I'm like, oh Lord, why is she calling me? But then when I talked to her, she's like, hey, how you doing? And then I said to her, woo, she sound great. And I said, oh my God, my heart just dropped when you called, because I'm thinking, why she called? She goes, oh yeah, Darren passed. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. She said they both had COVID at the same time in the hospital on ventilators at the exact same time. Wow. When she woke up, he was gone.
Wow.
He had 2 boys, he was a twin. And my heart was broken, Carolyn, because he was the nicest person. I'm talking about just the nicest person. But he had a heart thing going on. And because he got COVID, he couldn't bounce back. So one thing I've learned is to make sure that right, you make sure that your family is secure, because you don't know when your number is going to be called. You just don't know. You don't know how, you don't know when. And when I tell you, you need to be prepared for that. And I know a lot of people don't like to talk about this stuff, but here's what I'm finding. There's a lot of people becoming very conscious, Carolyn, about financial investment. That's why I'm looking at land, because I'm in a group that's all they do is buy land. I'm thinking, well, I need to buy some land, So you gotta listen to people who are trying to help you. Carolyn and I are trying to help you. We're not trying to sell you. We're trying to help you. She got investments. I got investments. I've been talking all week about Dogecoin. Y'all heard me talk. Listen, I can't tell you to buy Doge. I can just tell you what I got. And I got a bunch of it. And I said to my husband last night, I was like, man, I'd be glad when it get to $100,000 a share, I'm gonna fall out on the floor because I got a bunch of it. So we're gonna be coming here one Wednesday a month, the second Wednesday of every month. We're gonna be talking to you about investing and how to make sure your family is protected. And Carolyn, I want to thank you so much for taking this opportunity to talk to us and share. And I got to get myself on the ball. I'm inspired today by you to get myself on the ball and to go ahead and take get my license, because I know that we have a lot of people to help. And there are a lot of people that right now they're looking for our help. So thank you so much for sharing those great. I love stories. I love stories. So when you told them stories, I'm like, yes, because I think when you tell stories, people can really see, oh, wow, because that can happen to me. I've seen people, I know people who have lost people who got shot. And they didn't have any insurance. And guess what they had to do? They had to do a fish fry.
Yes.
Sell T-shirts,
Yes.
Go fund me. We don't want you to have to do that. But here's the thing too. We don't want you to bury the person, put all the money in the ground either. We don't want you to do that either. So
exactly.
Right. So we're gonna be coming here the second Wednesday of every month to share with you how to make sure your financial future is stable. Carolyn, thank you so much for being my guest this morning. So listen, guys, Carolyn, thank you. You can jump off. I'm going to go to my last song of inspiration. I'll call you later.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Listen, guys, I'm going to my last song for the day. And then I'm going to come back and I'm going to give you my word of inspiration for the day. So you stay tuned and I'll be right back after this song.
Watch out, I'm coming for you. And it will feel like it's a dream coming true. Don't mind, I already knew. You dropped that gorgeous, but you don't have a clue. Your smile could tear me apart. I dwell with this ring, they aching heart. Just hold on, you'll soon be mine. I know that you give in. So come fall in love with me, 'cause I know we're supposed to be. Let's go home to bed now. It's more than just a game for two. It's made for me and you. I stay in your head now until you're mine. Let's go home to bed now. It's more than just a game for two. It's made for me and you. I stay in your head now until you're mine. Watch out, I'm coming for you. And it will feel like it's a dream coming true. You're mine, I already knew. You dropped that gorgeous, but you don't have a clue. Your smile could tear me apart. I dwell with this ring, with aching heart. Hold on, you'll soon be mine. I know that you'll give it to me. So come fall in love with me, 'cause I know we're supposed to be. Go home to bed now. It's more than just a game for two. It's made for me and you. I stay in your head now until you're mine, mine. Let's go home to bed now. It's more than just a game for two. It's made for me and you. I stay in your head now until you're mine, mine, mine.
Welcome back. It's your girl, Audrey Bell Kearney. Listen, guys, I hope you enjoyed that segment with me and Carolyn talking about investing and understanding the importance of insurance. And we're going to be talking about more about mutual funds, annuities, stocks, bonds, all of these things to make your business, to make your family secure. I know for me, that's what we've been working on. I've been working on for some time now. And now I'm into crypto, and now I'm into land and all that kind of stuff. And so she's going to come on and she's going to, help us walk through the process. So before I go, I want to give you my word of inspiration. And she already said it, but I just felt like it was worth repeating. When you know better, you do better. Say that one more time. When you know better, you do better. And Maya Angelou said that, and she was absolutely right. When you don't know something, you can make the excuse that I don't know. But when people tell you something, they give you that information, all the excuses are off the table. You can take the information that we share with you and you can make your life better for your kids, or you can wait till the time when you can't do that and they have to do a fish fry to bury you. Your kids have to go into foster care because one parent can't take care of them. You have people that have to go to the grandmother's house and they all living together in one bedroom. You don't want that. So when you know better, you do better. My goal with Good Morning Gwinnett is to make sure that I bring you the best, not just news and entertainment, but the best people to inspire you, the best people to educate you, the best people that's going to help you live a life that's the life that you want to live. So that's why I have great guests that come on the show. That's why I have people talking to me about growing your small businesses. That's why I have Carolyn now coming on with me the second Wednesday every month to talk about, how to invest. What investments are good for you? Is a 529 the best? That's for college. Maybe what can you do with a 529? All of these things we're going to talk about the second Wednesday of every month. So make sure to tune in. If you missed the last part of this episode where Carolyn was talking about investment, go back over to Good Morning Gwinnett in about an hour or 2 hours, and you can listen to it there. Be sure to share the show with your friends, especially people who right now are in financial straits. Share the show with your friends, share it with your families, start investment clubs, do all these kind of things. We're going to talk about all these things on the second Wednesday of each month when Carolyn is on with us. Do you want to start an investment club? How do you start an investment club? I heard something the other day about starting a family bank. I can't wait to dig into that. What is a family bank? I don't know, but I'm going to find out more. NFTs, I heard a lot about that. I'm going to bring on people that know about that stuff. Why? Because these are all things that can secure your family moving forward. So I want to thank you again for listening. You could have been anywhere in the world, but you spent the last hour and 23 minutes with me. And that was a long segment, but I felt like that was okay because you're learning something that's going to help you improve the lives of yourself and your family by making sure that your financial future is secure. So thank you again for listening. Be sure to follow me on Facebook at Good Morning Gwinnett. Follow me on Instagram at Good Morning Gwinnett, and follow me on the Twitter at GM Gwinnett. Also, be sure to download the app from the app stores, whether you got an Android or Apple phone. There's an app for that in the app store for Good Morning Gwinnett. And if you listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, go to Apple Podcasts, find your favorite 2 episodes, give it 5 stars. Appreciate you and love the life for that. I'll be back again tomorrow with another great show. So make sure to tune in tomorrow. Stay safe out there. Hug your family, y'all. Kiss them. Tell them hi. Forgive them. If you're holding some grudge against somebody for something stupid, forgive them, because you don't know when you won't get a chance. You just never know. I got that call yesterday. It broke my heart. Darren was a good person. My heart is I know he's in heaven, probably talking to my mom. He was a good person. I'm talking about a really good person. And my heart was broken once again, but I know this too shall heal. And I pray that you understand that while they're here, give them their roses. I'll be back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. God willing. Until next time, make it a great day. Bye, y'all.
You've been listening to Good Morning Gwinnett. Make sure to tune in Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time to find out what's happening around Gwinnett. If you like this episode, subscribe now and share with your friends. To learn more about Noise Media Network, visit noisemedia.us.